Welcome back to another Spear Football Preview Show. I'm your host, Ryan Carlson, and along with me I have returners Derek Al, Max Miller, and our reporter who will be at the game this weekend live, Gio Gaxiola. Gentlemen, how are you, and where did you watch the game on Saturday, and what'd you think of it?
Well, Ryan, it's good to be back, and hello to our Spartan family that are watching this. I watched the game at the Outhouse, my house in Salinas, California, born and raised, obviously. So I watched, I think the World Series is going on, and of course, congratulations to our Dodger fans in the audience right now that are watching this. I know we got some Bay Area sports fans that don't like that, myself, Max, but that's another show for another day. But it was interesting. It was an interesting viewing experience. Seeing that dirt patch, where the hillside grandstand was, and just had so many people like, Derek, what are they going to put there? It's like, oh, it's going to be the new athletic center, which hopefully I'll be graduating by then. I will have no part of that. But it was just a really physical game in terms, with the offensive line. Ryan's proud that he got the right score right. I believe he said 17-10. It was 17-6. So.
My prediction was the closest, and yes,
Yeah.
I'm very proud after being ridiculed by Max and Jara last episode for that.
I was going to say take the under. The over-under was like 63. Take the under all day.
Yeah, indeed. How about you, Max? Where'd you watch, and what'd you think of the game?
I was at my girlfriend's house. She was not too entertained because, let's be honest, that was a pretty sloppy game. But I will say my prediction of a slow start came true. Now, I wasn't expecting a slow start from Air Force, but hey, that was a scrappy win. Going with the Brent Brennan look. We need some Brent Brennan gifts. He was going crazy on the sidelines. That was a great game for San Jose State to start the season. Now they get a second home game, but not really a home game because of some of the issues, but we'll get into that. But look, we talked about the turnovers, and we talked about controlling the ball. Well, they won the turnover margin, and they D-line, which was another key, stepped up huge. That goal line stand was awesome in the first half. That was awesome. One thing I thought the broadcast lacked was, did we even get a look at the new scoreboard? Did we get a look? I don't think we did.
Not too much of a look, no. No, like Derek said,
I want to see it. Hopefully this week FS1 will come through. Don't worry. But, hey, we're 1-0, going with a Brent Brennan look, San Jose State out of the way, and let's go 2-0. Like I said last week, who knows? It's a sprint.
Sure is. Huge win for San Jose State. Gio, you'll be there this Saturday in what is now a home game for the Spartans that was relocated due to a surplus in COVID cases out in New Mexico. So the Lobos are coming here. How excited are you to be there in person? And what did you think of last week's win?
All right. Well, first off, thank you guys for having me, and I hope everyone out there is doing well and staying safe. As far as the game for Saturday, I was really impressed with the defensive side of the ball. I don't know who read my game preview, but I said defense wins championships, and it definitely proved it that day. I mean, keeping Air Force only 6 points. That's amazing. The goal line stat, everything about it was just great. And then Starkle even came out throwing for 2 touchdowns in the game. I mean, stepping up, gelling with the offense in your first game as a transfer, it's pretty huge. As far as the game on Saturday, I'm really excited. I really wish there was fans there so I can experience it. This is my first time covering a San Jose State football home game. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm ready to pass all the protocols, and I'm just ready to go see some SJC football and cover about it, and hopefully the team as well.
I know you are, and last week was a huge win. The defense stepped up huge with that goal line stand that everybody was tweeting about when it happened. That was insane. Air Force was, I think, closer than the 1-yard line to the end zone. And San Jose State defense stood tall and forced them to turn over the ball on downs. Max, you mentioned it was a little bit sloppy. There were a number of turnovers. Spartans ended +1 in the turnover margin that game. And this game this Saturday against New Mexico could hold much of the same.
Yeah, I think it definitely could. I mean, if we get the same performance out of the defense as we did against Air Force, we're in for a treat. I think we got a week under our belt, as in San Jose State. In history, San Jose State is 13-1 as in a tie, and 5. They've tied once. I'm trying to figure out where, but I can't quite see when they tied. But San Jose State in history, 13 wins, 5 losses against New Mexico. Last year against New Mexico, it was a pretty high-scoring game, if I remember correctly here. It was a final score of 32-21. San Jose State scored 20 points in the second quarter and ran away with it. Big game for Josh Love. But again, the turnover margin was huge. If you look at from last year, San Jose State, no interceptions, I don't believe. checking here. No interceptions. They had 1 fumble lost. New Mexico had 5 fumbles and lost 2 of them. They lost 2 fumbles. So, again, if that defense can cause havoc like they did this past week and win the turnover margin again, and clearly Brennan or whoever's running that defense is telling them, punch the ball out, get the ball. The first fumble on the toss was okay, but that second fumble, punched it out. It's going to be another battle in the trenches, win the turnover margin. And last year with Josh Love throwing over 400 yards passing, it could be a huge game for Nick Starkel this week.
I agree. I think he's going to continue to gel, but looking at the other side of the football, the Lobos have not played a game yet. Their game last week against Colorado State got canceled due to the rise of COVID cases out in New Mexico, and we hope everybody is safe and healthy and taking precautions out east in New Mexico from here in California. And Derek, their head coach, said in a article released by the Albuquerque Journal that he expects a rusty performance from his team not having a game under their belt yet. And looking at the Spartans, we kind of expected the same in game 1, but they proved us wrong and came out strong against Air Force.
Yeah, I mean, what a crazy turn of events for the Lobos. They had their game canceled last week due to the strict protocols that are in New Mexico, the state of New Mexico. And now Danny Gonzalez, who is the new head coach, the new head ball coach for the Lobos, goes back to the school that he played for, taking over for Bob Davie, who had a really successful run there. But yeah, I know I watched the press conference with Coach Brennan, and then one of the funnier moments, I think Coach Gonzalez called Coach Brennan during the press conference. Mind you, this is during the press conference, and I know we sent it in our group chat. I'm like, are they trading game plan secrets or what are they doing? But no,
Brennan picked up, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. But in all seriousness, no, they have a good relationship from what I hear, from what I saw during the press conference. And, they have mutual respect for each other. Obviously, Coach Brennan knows what it's like to take over a rebuilding program. But New Mexico, they have 12 starters returning offensively. And the last time they played a game, I believe, was 338 days. Don't come at me on Twitter, Derek Q42. But I feel like, I think at the Spartans, this is the time that, you need to put the foot on the gas pedal. They have not started 2-0 since 1987. Folks, none of us were alive in 1987, all right? So it would be a huge, huge notch under Coach Brett Brennan's belt and also the team.
Most definitely. It's been a long time coming, and I want to circle back to Nick Starkel, who gelled well, threw 2 touchdowns to Derek Deese Jr., who lit it up in the end zone, was a favorite target in the red zone for Starkel. And another weapon that Starkel has in his arsenal is Trey Walker. He's approaching history, and he could solidify himself as number 5 in the all-time San Jose State Spartans receptions list. He's only 4 away from achieving that accolade. So, Gio, will Trey get it this weekend? Will Starkel go back to the air, or will they try to utilize the run game a little bit more?
Well, when we went to the preseason and the Mountain West came out with the preview video on Twitter, they put Trey Walker as the number 1 receiver prospect to come out of the Mountain West. I do believe he's going to get the over 4 catches this game. I believe that they do have to start getting the run game going a little bit more. I feel like Kyrie Robinson got some touches, but I feel like if he just gets that one big explosion, he's going to hit the house, just hit a home run. However, I also do feel that Starkel does want to start getting the passing game going a little more because he is a graduate. He wants to start learning the receivers a little more. He was hooking up with Bailey Gaither a lot. I mean, you guys saw over 100 yards receiving that day on Saturday. So he has a favorite target, and he has Trey Walker in his side pocket just waiting to blow up too. That's a lot of weapons for a guy who looks like he's gelling with the offense early on. But back to Trey Walker. Happy birthday, Trey. I know it's on Twitter today is his birthday, so giving a shout out to him too. Hopefully he enjoys his day. And hopefully this Saturday I do get to see him break the record. And, we'll definitely give him a shout out for that.
He could definitely leapfrog some Spartan greats in the receptions list on his birthday week this Saturday. Big game coming up for Trey Walker, and Starkel utilizing Bailey Gaither, Derek Deese, and Trey Walker. He's got a lot of options to use when looking to throw the ball, and he threw some deep bombs against Air Force and accurately really impressed everyone, filling Josh Love's shoes pretty nicely. And how about Nick Nash? Whenever they put him in, He's not afraid to rush the football, and he does it really well.
Yeah, you look at Nick Nash, and we knew we mentioned that he was going to be some sort of a Taysom Hill type player. No pass attempts from this game, unlike last year. But you look at his rushing game. He had 5 attempts for 19 yards, but he made things happen. He made things happen with his feet, and he caused havoc defensively. And even if he was in the game and didn't touch the ball, it made the Air Force defense think. And I think we could see a little bit more expanding of the offense. I think there was a pretty strict game plan, pretty big scripting going on, especially in that first half. I think that's why it stayed pretty low scoring. I think Brent Brennan kind of limited the offense a little bit to start just so we can keep things simplified. But I think as the season goes on, I think Gio has a good point. I think we could see a little bit more from the passing game. Ryan, you said that too. I think we could see more from Nick Nash. I think we could see some more trick plays. I think we could see some more movement on the line. I think we could really see an expanding of the options of what type of plays can be run through Nick Starkel, but also Nick Nash. He creates plays. He's a playmaker, and he clearly can run the ball. I think we could see not a 50-50 split in carries between Kyrie Robinson and Nick Nash, but I think we could see maybe a 15-10 split if we can get enough runs off if they hold the ball.
For sure. The offense will be looking to continue their success, or its success, this Saturday at home against the Lobos, and it'll be much like the first game. No fans, except for some media, will be in attendance like Gio, and but the Spartans will be comfortable at home with no east side bleachers and a brand new scoreboard, with which hopefully we get a look at from the TV on Saturday. And a huge key to this game will be safety for the players after New Mexico coming into San Jose for the game on Saturday. They have been tested already, I think, on Sunday and Tuesday, and they will also be tested on Thursday before identifying who they'll take on the road and making sure everybody is safe to make the trip and stay safe while out here. So that'll be a huge key. And speaking of keys, let's get to each reporter's 3 keys to the game, starting with Derek Al.
So mine's are just, I don't know if you guys have seen the new show on Netflix called Cobra Kai. Big fan. New season coming out in January. They got to strike first, strike hard, no mercy. All right. New Mexico, they're a rebuilding program. Coach Gonzalez came over from Arizona State. Herm Edwards, of course, fellow 831 native, Monterey County native from Seaside. So, yeah, they have to strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Nick Starkel looked really solid overall. I thought some of his throws, they were just absolute bombs coming from Arkansas. And I felt like, some of his throws, I think he was maybe off by 5 seconds at least, especially a couple throws to Bailey Gaither that could have gone for big gains, and also that interception that he had in the first half. But I feel like if the Spartans score first, they need to put their foot on the metal. They need to do the best Cobra Kai impression. No mercy, because you got a very tough San Diego State team awaiting you in Carson, California, by the way. They're not San Diego, Carson, California. But I feel like if the Spartans can just handle business, come out with the great mindset they did against Air Force, they will go to 2-0.
Yeah, all right, Derek. Those are some pretty good Cobra Kai. But I think it's really just going to come down to the defense again. I think first key is the defense. You look back to last year. I feel like that's my new thing is looking back to last year. San Jose State had 4 interceptions against New Mexico last year. They had 4 interceptions, 2 different quarterbacks, 3 from the first one, 3 from Sherrion Jones. But the thing is, Sherrion Jones, he created havoc last year, and he's not there anymore. He was the quarterback. He created 3 interceptions. But so I think it's going to come down to defense, especially that defensive line again. I'd like to see more from the offense. I think we saw very limited of what they could do. I think Nick Starkel showed some flashes. I think we need to get Trey Walker more involved. I think the better offense, Trey Walker more involved. Like Gio said, he's only 4 catches away from being 5th all time. And I think lastly, again, I think turnovers. You win the turnover game and control the ball, San Jose State's going to win this game. I think that's going to be pretty constant key through every game. It's a basic key. But we said the D-line was a weak link last week, or the weaker end of the defense. They stepped up big time last week. We need a repeat performance from them, and we need them to create havoc and create turnovers. Create turnovers, they control the ball, they can do more on offense and be more flashy, win the game. Get out to a fast start, create turnovers, hold the ball.
Well, if I have to stick with the Cobra Kai theme, I'm going to go with the most famous line of them all, sweep the leg. And just get him with that stare. Yes, The defense is going to be the key to this game. You guys are coming off a great game. Kyle Harmon, 14 total tackles. Trey Webb, 11 tackles. Get these guys in there, let them make their plays, and then let them bottle up New Mexico like they did at Air Force. That's the first key. The second key, I would say, is to get the passing game going a little bit more. Yeah, 226 yards, it's good for the first game, but let's see maybe a couple 300, 400-yard games. We see a lot of that more in college than we do in the NFL. Let's face it. So that's the second key. The third key, I'm always going to say it. I'm going to keep on saying it. Please get the run game going. It really hurts me seeing that SJC only averages 89 yards a rush last year. So that's a rush yards a game last year. So that's terrible. We have to get that up. So those are my 3 keys of the game.
Yeah, and Brennan's mentioned that the running game needs some work, and I'm sure they'll be looking to establish the run game a little bit more. Nick Starkel will have the opportunity to surpass his 266 passing yards last week against New Mexico. And Derek said it's been close to a year since we've seen the Lobos take the field, and so it'll be interesting to see how they bode with their new coach and their 12 starters returning from last season. So like we were anticipating with San Jose State last week, it'll be interesting to see how the Lobos perform here in San Jose. And again, the last time they met, October 4th, 2019, Spartans with the win 32-21. And the last time the Spartans started the season 2-0, 1987. So a lot riding on this game, a lot of hope for Spartan fans. And I agree, the 3 keys are spot on. The defense is going to have to come up huge. They have before, and they definitely can this game as well. Starkel will have to go to the air, but also trust the run game like the coaches will want to see. And, the Spartans have momentum coming into this game, especially beating a team like Air Force, who took down Navy 40-7 in its first game. And so this will be a big one. I want to get to predictions, another round table about predictions. Can I go 2-0 as well with my closest prediction? I'll kick it off. Derek doesn't like it. He wants to win this week. I'll kick it off. I think Starkel tops his game last week. Goes back to the air. Spartans get it done 28-10.
Well, Ryan, am I allowed to do predictions since I'm broadcasting this week at the game live on, student radio?
I think you're allowed to give a prediction.
I think so. Kirk Herbstreit doesn't do it when he calls games on college game day. So, but anyways, I think it's going to be a massive opportunity for some of the younger guys to play, and for all the good reasons, because I think this is just going to be a blowout win for the Spartans. New Mexico, they're rebuilding. They haven't played in over 300 days. They've lost some lot more practices due to the situation going on in New Mexico with COVID-19. So I'm thinking 38-10, Spartans go to 2-0, and it's going to be a big win because I just don't see, New Mexico could come out with some surprises, but, I think this year for them is just a rebuilding year, trying to set a foundation. It's kind of hard for Coach Gonzalez to step into a situation. First year, you're excited to be finally a head coach for a Division I football program, and yet you get COVID-19 thrown and all these protocols. So 38-16, Spartans go to 2-0, or 38-10. Sorry.
Yeah. Get it right, Derek. Come on, stay consistent here. If you got to broadcast the game, you got to be consistent the whole way through. All right, look,
10-16
last week. I didn't get a chance to last week, but I was going to tell everybody bet the under. The over/under was like 65. The over/under this week is 59.5. I say under. However, the line is San Jose by 9.5. I think that's going to be pretty accurate. I don't know if they're going to cover it, but I do think San Jose State gets a pretty big win. I think it's going to be high scoring for San Jose State. I think the defense steps up again. They get definitely some turnovers. I think we could see some missed tackles on the New Mexico defensive side of the ball because of their first game. I think we could see a 35-14 win. 35-14 win for San Jose State.
First off, hopefully they do get a win. This is my first game covering them with my own eyes, being there in person. So if they do get a win, that would be great. The defense, like everyone says, Hawks has to step up, get to the quarterback, to Vaca, to Iotu early, get to him often, let him make mistakes, and then let the offense ride out. San Jose State wins this game 35-7. There's going to be some rust on the New Mexico side of the ball.
You see how all your predictions were hovering around mine. I think you guys are trying to get after me, and you want redemption for my
This is my
spot
first
on.
time. This is my first time, guys. Come on, I'm the new guy here. Come on, I didn't know. I
Gio's
don't
got
know
a
what
point.
to do.
Gio's got a point.
I mean, it's a smart move.
You guys are having a standoff, and I'm just coming in like I'm putting my bet in here.
We want to hear your predictions as well. Everybody watching, go ahead, type those in the comments and tag us on social media. It's going to be a fun game, exciting to watch. You can stream it online. You can watch somewhere on TV. You guys know where it's airing this week? Is it Fox Sports 1 again?
It is
Back on
FS1.
FS1, baby. Back on FS1. We got that national coverage. And let me say this. It's Halloween Saturday night. We're going to be haunting New Mexico's dreams all night long, baby. All night long. We're in their dreams. We're haunting them.
He's confident in Spartan football. Not a bad way to be. It's going to be a good game. We all predict a win, and we hope everybody will be tuning in as well. Let us know your predictions again. Yeah, you're right. It is a Halloween game, so stay safe, everybody, while you're watching and after you're watching. 4 p.m. kickoff this time. Last week, the first game was a 7:30 p.m., so a little earlier. So you might be able to celebrate a little bit of Halloween after a Spartan win on Saturday. So we thank you for watching this Spear football preview show and hope you enjoy the game and your Saturday as well as your weekend. Gio will be there covering. Keep your eye out on the Spear's Twitter and social media platforms for all updates and inside information on Spartan football as we receive it and get it out to you. So we once again thank you for watching this Spear football preview show. For all my co-hosts, Derek Al, Max Miller, Gio Gaxiola, I'm Ryan Carlson, and we will see you next time.